Welcome back to my studio, everybody, and this is my bike that I showed you a couple of months ago at the end of September it was 2025, when I just installed and I showed you the full setup of the Skarper E-Bike Drive unit. You can see it there installed today, but we've got an update for you. So we're gonna today go through the new app, which I've had early beta access to for a couple of weeks now. Just want to put together a little video to give you an idea of what to expect from the app, its key features, because it has been very anticipated for some time. Skarper have had it on their product roadmap for I think a couple of years now. So it's really exciting to see this app and see what it can do for us. To explain what the expectations should be, how to use it, and where it's going to really help you riding with Skarper. So I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. So first things first, I thought I'd take you through the pairing and setup procedure. So as normal, you want to be starting up the Skarper and starting up the Bluetooth pedal assist sensor. And you can see that should immediately pair up. You get the white ring to show you that it's paired up and the blue light on the pedal assist. Then it's just simply a case of getting your phone. In my case, I've got an iPhone 15 here. I'm just going to swipe down. Once you're logged into the app, you're just going to click and select your Skarper. It's going to pop up pretty instantly there. Right, okay, so very quick to connect. So I mentioned about the importance of the handlebar mounting. You know, if you've got a phone case like this is a quad lock system. They are actually pretty sturdy and reliable on there. I do find them sometimes a bit of a pain to get on, but once they're on, they're super solid. You can actually have them in either portrait or landscape mode, but I actually prefer just the portrait mode. And you can adjust the angle of this one. I have tried the cheaper alternatives. They have just fallen off though, to be honest, which has not been great. I ended up getting a couple of these mounts and just have the one case for my second phone, and that fits pretty nicely on there with my Design light as well. As you can see here, this is how you would normally select the speeds. So you've got Eco, Cruise and Turbo there, and as you go up through the modes, the lights indicate which mode you're in. Obviously you can power off the unit, and this is where you would normally also test the battery remaining. So the way to do that in the conventional method without the app, you're just going to click on the button there and it's going to show you in terms of what percentage the ring is completed, whereas on the app, you know, you can just check and you've got an actual percentage readout, so you can see down to 1% how much battery you've got remaining, which is great. The other thing is you can switch between modes. So here I'm just showing you switching between the modes. Cruise mode there, which is the second light up, and you can see in the background Skarper is changing modes as I flip through those seamlessly. Back into turbo mode. And the other thing you can do is you can pause. So whereas you normally would pedal back 3 times, it's just going to activate the exact same thing and pause the Skarper so you can reserve battery power. The other things you've got in there, you've got your terms and conditions and device information. And here you can flip between kilometers per hour and miles per hour for your speed readout. So it's giving you a few things. It's giving you the speedometer, switching between modes, pausing, and battery percentage remaining. So 4 main features there, which is really great for the first version of the app. And I think loads of people are going to really benefit from that. One of the things is it overcomes the reservation that a lot of people would have about there not being a bar mounted display. It is sometimes a little bit tricky to, you know, stop the bike, lean over, check the battery, and it'd be much better if you could do that from the bars. I normally use Komoot, and here I'm just showing how you can switch between Komoot and the app seamlessly as you're riding. It's not that big of a deal. I think it's really down to Apple to develop multitasking or have the facility to have 2 apps running at once. So once you're out and about, again, you can see your battery remaining there. In this case, I've just done about a kilometre, so 98%. Cruise, Eco and Turbo. I actually really like the animations and the colours that come up in those different modes. It looks really cool on the handlebars, particularly Cruise I thought, just in the green. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. You can pause and unpause as I showed you earlier, switching between kilometers per hour and miles per hour there. And then if you go into the battery, you can also change the percentage, where the percentage is displayed or not. So you can either have a battery represented as an icon, or you can have the actual percentage. I'll switch it to the icon so you can see that. I'll go back and switch it to the percentage. I prefer the percentage just because it gives you a really accurate readout. So yeah, let's just go for a little cruise and see what we think of the app. We're going into a headwind at the moment and I'm in high gear. But you can see the Skarper will just enable you to keep pushing through it without much effort. It's holding at 15-ish. If I put a bit more effort in, 15. And because the motor's running faster, it's easier for it to deliver that torque. You just help it along a little bit. So yeah, switching between modes, back into cruise mode, eco mode. Really easy to do from the bars. Pause it if you want. That's the equivalent of pedaling backwards 3 times. One thing I haven't tested is what happens if I pedal back 3 times now. Yeah, it unpauses it. That's cool. So if I was to pedal back 3 times, it's unpaused it again. So I think, overall, main advantage is being able to see the battery. The speed's not so important because if you want speed and navigation, you can switch to something like Komoot, like I've just done, which will give you route planning, on-the-fly route adjustment, route recording, basically everything you could possibly want for bike packing and more on the handlebars. Is there really a need for a handlebar mounted display? Possibly not, if you've already got a decent bit of technology on the bars, and most people that are using it for urban riding, which is possibly more where Skarper is targeted at, just fine just to have it on the bars. Another feature I did wonder about was looking at the battery health, charge cycles, that type of thing. I'm sure it's got all of that data in there. It might even have an odometer to tell you how many kilometers the disc drive has done. Great first start from Skarper. So thanks for watching again. Please subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one. So that wraps up my quick demo. Obviously you've seen me out there riding, seeing what it looks like in real life. Is it useful? I think it really is. I think it really does add a whole new spectrum to Skarper, being able to see all the information that's displayed on the Skarper on the side of it, which is quite difficult to see when you're riding, to be honest with you. One of maybe the slight criticisms there of that display being on the outside, you can't see it from looking top down. Whereas when you've got it up on the bars, you know, you've got a bar mounted phone, it's much easier to see all that information, much more accessible, and you can kind of judge what your range is going to be. Now in the future, some of the things you might want to see improving it is maybe powering off the unit, you know, maybe some kind of security lock. That would be quite good, to only be able to turn on the unit with you know, your Face ID when you've logged in, and pairing that with the unit with your phone. Range is going to be difficult to calculate because it's going to be quite a dynamic calculation based on a load of different factors, you know, wind, whether it's a headwind or a tailwind, your pedaling effort, what mode you're in, the incline of the hill, what tyres you've got on, the weight of the bike, the system weight of you, and you know, loads of things like that are going to come into play. So that's probably going to be quite difficult to calculate. But just the fact that you can see your battery in a percentage, you know, that alone really enables you to kind of conserve the battery. I would say also being able to put it into pause mode rather than pedaling back, much quicker to do it from the bars, you know, much simpler to do that. And of course changing modes, that's much easier, and that's something that definitely I've really enjoyed being able to use, you know, switching between turbo and eco, so you can really feel what the differences are like when you're riding. So all in all, I'd definitely give Skarper a thumbs up with this app. If you're interested in Skarper, do get in touch. Hopefully soon I'll have an affiliate code, so I'll be able to provide you with a special deal for Skarper. Drop in the comments if you're interested. Please do leave your comments, like, share and subscribe. And if you haven't seen my other Skarper videos, do have a quick watch of those as well. And I'll be putting more Skarper content up soon. Thanks for watching.